Travis doing good, so doing this video late at night, can't get to sleep. We had a couple of power outages. The first one was at 8:34. Lasted just a brief off and on. And then again 20 minutes later at 8:54. And that one lasted for about 20 minutes. Came back on at 9:12. It was said that I was supposed to check on that. When I called the electric company, they said both Riverton and Salt Lake City had power outages. Wow. Apparently there's still some going on. Did it work? Yes. Good. So, very interesting. Let's check this other one here. Seriously? So it has to be at the moment that the power is out in order for you to see it? What crap? So, yeah, I was watching Oaks's talk so that I could do at least a video for you before the night ended and you guys were all asleep. Though apparently there can be those of you who watch overnight. Can happen. But I had then thought that I could, because listening to him, I realized I can break it down into multiple videos. He's as bad as Nelson. And he is next in line to be the president of the church. And it's no surprise that he was the one to give this devotional right before America falls and the church gets their kingdom back. And that's what scared me about him, is because the kids obviously didn't see it. They're going, "Yay, a living prophet of Jesus, yay!" I wonder if they had a guy with a cue card to stick up laughter. I don't think so. Mormons are pretty good at laughing when they're allowed to laugh. That's why they have these, is to get it out of their system so that they're quiet during conference. But yeah, he did to sum it up, it was a name-calling conference or devotional. He just was accusing everybody, calling them names, and that was the whole theme, from one segment to the next. It was a different name calling. He was very abusive. And so the first one was, he was going against secularism, the anti-reality, because that's what secularism is. Reality is the physical world, and so secularism is dealing with the physical world. And this is where we get the concept of separation of church and state. because religion is well known since Constantine created Jesus and described him as not real, that you have this not real attitude to living your life, just having faith with no works. Yeah, and they have that scripture, and all of you, God. And so there's nothing wrong with secularism, but Nelson is all against science. He's always been against science. He's anti-science. And he even revealed to us his method of behavior, because he's tried to relate to the kids, saying that because of his job as a lawyer, he's very strict in observing the law. But he didn't tell them that it's his interpretation of the law that he's strict to. That's what he left out. Because you get these psychologists who enter into our realm in this nation in all different fields to try to screw them up, because psychology is anti-science. It's a method of name-calling people and then getting people to self-fulfill the name-calling, self-fulfilling prophecy. Do you know what a self-fulfilling prophecy is? You make a prediction, and psychologists don't use science, and if it were a medical science, it would be a diagnosis. They don't do diagnoses because they don't do science. You have to have science in order to make a diagnosis. And they lie to us in saying that people are diagnosed with a mental disorder. And Nelson uses that because the church has family services that uses psychologists. And Natasha Helfer was the one most recently that was excommunicated because she went against the church. The church controls psychology in the state of Utah. And I've done the research and tied them all together. Family Services, University of Utah, Valley Behavioral Health. They're all tied together. They're all one and the same. They even have employees that will work for a couple different ones. They'll have two jobs, and they'll just switch between the two. Very dangerous. And the government's letting them get away with it, as the government is allowing psychology to destroy this state. Because it's worse here in Utah than it is for the nation. But you can watch the liberal news media, and you can see what I'm talking about. And he goes over that. And I didn't get to that because the power went out when I was watching it. And so I had about 20 minutes left to watch it. But he was getting to a girl who was... No, I did get that one. Yeah, I did get it. Okay. And so first is name-calling those who live in reality, saying that we're foolish for not living in not reality, as he called it, the spiritual. And then where is it? Yeah, then he name calls LGBTQ, gender dysphoria. That's a psychological name calling. Do you see the connection he's doing here? He has fully become one with psychology because it's anti-science. And religion he wants to make anti-science. And so he's merged the two together to create his version of Mormonism. and he's next in line to be the president of the church. Do you see the danger? Hopefully, the church will not survive the destruction that is coming in the coming days. If you're not aware, dear God, living in your own private Idaho. I actually had a person attack me for saying that quote. I grew up on the B-52s. Idaho is my favorite state. I did a report on it. I got an F. My parents fought the teacher on this. I'm a straight A student, and all of a sudden the 5th grade teacher gives me an F on a report that I actually worked on hard. Well, and then, he even accuses Jesus of being a false accuser. But he let the adulterer go. So, I still think I should do separate videos, but that's the 3 name callings that he was involved with there. It was just atrocious. But I warned you. He focused on teenagers who haven't even graduated from high school yet, apparently. And he's telling them to focus on getting married and having lots and lots and lots of babies. Not to worry about the economy, as we're about to crash the economy in this nation. Do you see what he's doing? They're preparing for the kingdom next year, which means from when the economy collapses until next year, those who survive and are obedient will get to come into the kingdom. And he's telling you to suffer. And there are also some things that cause problems, which has to do with dating. So we'll get over that. But polygamy is for marriage. He brought up the law of chastity. His wife is his second wife, just like Nelson's. Both of their first wives died. And she was 53 when he married her. She'd never been previously married. She was waiting for the right guy to come along. Really? At 53? And you're here in Utah, where the largest percentage of available men are available for you, and you're saying that you couldn't find the right one? So we'll cover more on that tomorrow. But, he's wanting you to breed, women. I warned you. I warned you. I warned you. I warned you. Give up your schooling. Give up your career. Breed. And breed immediately when legally allowed. And they're going to have their kingdom where the United States is out of the picture. What age do you think they'll go down to? If you're unfamiliar with Brigham Young and the polygamy practiced under them, I refer you to Warren Jeffs, who went as low as 14. Nelson dropped it to 11. I warn you, and you don't believe. You think I'm ridiculous and don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an anti-Mormon, a secularist. That is our doctrine in the Book of Mormon, by the way. Our doctrine is secularism. So, yeah, I'll end here at 15 minutes. But very curious